And we welcome you again to a little talk just with us about what's going on. I want to ask you, Dr. Walker, to help me encourage people out there about these very distressing times that we're in. And what would you say to encourage someone right now who is going through unemployment and the awful competition for funds that's out here in the community to help people?
Dr. Dorsey, I am a firm believer that when times are toughest
Yes,
is when we must be our very best selves.
our best selves.
And I believe that when the going gets tough,
Yes.
the tough get going.
Now that's a good old saying I heard back in my youth. But how do we say that when people are, they have children and they are not able to keep the gas bill on, keep the gas on, can't find the help, the unemployment check won't cover everything.
Right.
What kind of action plan can we suggest so that the tough can keep going? What do you mean by that?
Well, I simply mean the first thing you must do is you've got to think positively.
Right.
You're not going to ever act positively unless you first think positively.
Yes.
And I believe that if we somehow are able to capture positive thinking, we'll get around to finding some positive way to solve the problem.
Yes.
Dr. Dorsey, one of my favorite poets
Yes.
was a person named William Ernest Henley.
Henley, that's right.
William Ernest Henley coined a poem called Invictus.
Yes.
And it goes something like this.
Mm.
Out of the night that covers me, black as the pit from pole to pole, I thank whatever gods may be for my unconquerable soul. Beyond this place of wrath and tears looms but the horrors of the shade, and yet the menace of the years finds and shall find me unafraid. And then he wraps it up with, it matters not how straight the gate, how charged with punishment the scroll. I am the master of my fate, and I'm the captain of my soul. I think when we capture those kind of writings,
Yes.
that what it does, it makes us feel that there's a way.
It stirs up something.
That I'm going to get out of this.
Yes.
I'm not going to sit around and do nothing, because that in itself will not change my posture or
Right.
change my condition.
Yes.
I've got to, one, be a believer.
Yes.
I believe first we have to trust God.
Yes.
I believe that. I think we have to utilize prayer.
Yes.
But we got to believe in ourselves
Right.
as well.
Right.
And when God tries to help us, we have to help God.
Well, then let's propose a couple of action steps.
All right.
A lot of the problems that we are seeing congressionally, we should feel powerful enough to have some input.
That's right.
We should call our elected officials and urge them to take steps that not only remedy our situation, but demonstrates that we can all get along. And I think that is something that America needs to see in order to feel like all of the advocacy that we have done means something.
See, that's exactly what I meant. You think positively. You're already adopted Invictus. You refuse to give up. You refuse to feel that there's not a way. And so what we've got to do is be sure that we give thought to it, that we not just say, no hope, I don't have any hope. You got to believe there is a way. You got to believe that there's somebody you can reach out to, that there's somebody you can communicate to,
Yes.
and because somebody can help change the circumstances that people have. We have a Congress, we have local governors, we have locally elected officials that
Right.
we have put in office.
Right.
These individuals are influential enough,
Right.
and they are prepared to help,
Yes.
and they must want to help, and we've got to be sure that we let them know we expect them to help.
Well, that's what you must hear, America. You must hear that you are in charge of a great deal more than you could probably ever anticipate. And one of the things that we want to do is see you empowered enough to make a plan, to communicate it with others, to seek support from your family and friends on at least some of the things that they can do probably to support you also. If we sat around our kitchen tables, Dr. Walker, and wrote letters together,
Absolutely.
we might be able to challenge some of the things and some of the thoughts that people who are in distress do have a voice.
Absolutely.
And will vote. Won't you do that, America? Won't you take charge? And above all, won't you vote? Won't you make sure that those who are reflecting your values are in their proper places to make sure that this country is run the way you want it to be run?
I think that is so well stated, Dr. Dorsey. But we cannot be silent. We cannot be quiet.
Yes.
We've got to reach out. And now, you may not know personally a member of Congress. You may not know personally who your representative is, but they are your representative.
And you can find out.
And you can find out who they are.
Yes.
And you got to talk to who it is you know.
Yes.
It may be a fellow choir member.
Yes.
It may be your pastor.
Yes.
It may be your relative.
Yes.
It may be your neighbor.
Yes.
But you got to tell somebody.
You gotta tell somebody.
If you're suffering, you don't need to keep it to yourself.
That's right.
You need to speak up and speak out.
But then no man is an island, huh?
No man.
John
is
Donne?
enough. Absolutely.
All right. See, I'm talking to a philosopher, and I draw a lot of my strength from talking to people who can energize my thinking and who can make sure that as I reflect for you, that you are also reflective for yourself. Have a great day and know that Community Action wishes you well, and we're here to serve you. If you need help, look around on this website and get my number.
Bless, bless, bless.